Hey, what's up, America? John here. We are entering an economic depression to the likes of which we have never experienced in our lifetime. I believe it's going to get horrific, way worse than 2008, way worse than the dot-com bubble, and way worse than the 1980s stock crash. I think it's going to get really, really bad. And the facts and the data, statistics, the direction in which America is going, Europe is going, China is going, a lot of other countries around the world are going, is going to be one in which we do not recover smoothly from. It's going to be horrible, really. And I'm sharing all this information not to scare you, but to prepare you, to put you in a place to where you can make smart financial decisions, to make smart investments, to weather the storm, and to really do the best that I possibly can to supply value for you and for your family. Please hit that like button. When you hit the like button, YouTube's going to share this content to educate more people about what's going on. Take a look at this. And by the way, if you can prove anything that I'm saying wrong, if you can disprove any of it, I will pin your comment to the top of this video so that everyone can read and learn, right? That's the goal here, is the best information. European Central Bank raises rates by 75 basis points to tackle soaring inflation. They go on to say that they expect to raise interest rates further because inflation remains far too high and is likely to stay above the target for an extended period of time. This is by far the biggest hike that they've done since 2014. They haven't done any hikes before that, right? So the last 8 years, now we are starting to hike rates in Europe. At the same exact time, energy prices are going through the roof in Europe, and Europe is going through their own problems. But what I believe is very unique here is that if we look at what's happening with energy prices, obviously that's going to factor into the cost of food. It's going to factor into the cost of products. It's going to factor into the cost of doing business for small business in Europe. Everything's going to cost more, right? During that period, what's going to happen? Their consumer is going to be paying more for credit cards. It's going to be paying more just for basic necessities, keeping the lights on in their apartment. What are they going to do? They're going to contract spending while the costs are going to be going up for small business. And during this entire period, they're going to say that prices are very high still, and that we need to combat this inflation by increasing interest rates even further, putting a damper on consumers even more. So what is the real solution? The real solution would be to draw energy prices down so that they would be able to buy and distribute products and services for a much lower price. But that is the opposite of what's actually happening. So what I believe is going to happen is that we are going to start to see Europe fall in dramatic fashion very, very soon. Right now, their energy prices are up 96% in the year to July, while electricity prices are up 54%. And the normal household income is about 2,000 euros, right, as of 2017, so probably slightly up from that. And their food inflation is up 8.9%. So everyday consumers in Europe are going through their own problems. And right now, 11 hours later, Australian Central Bank continues aggressive interest rates, right? They're hiking rates in Australia. Jerome Powell, we need to act right now. Fed Chairman Powell vows to continue aggressive inflation fight. In China property market has slid into severe depression, real estate giant says. Now here's what I like to look at. I like to look at, America. America right now is a society that's been very comfortable with 0% rates, borrowing money at 2%, 3%, where bills weren't optional the last couple of years due to the pandemic. There were so many things that were so many safeguards to really put the economy in a place to where nothing crazy was going to happen, where we're going to start to see some real recession. Everything was kind of protected, but all those protections are going away. If we look at the top 5% income, if we just go from 2010, right, it's about $350,000 a year. Right now it's $450, so it went up about 25%. However, if we go to the middle income 2010 to 2021, 2022, it's about the same. Even if we go to the second income, 109,000, it barely went up. Maybe it went up 6%, 7%. However, if we look at household debt from 2004 to 2021, 15 trillion. So household debt went up 100% when real income went up, even for the top earners, 25%, and for everybody else, 5 to 6%. So how can household debt go up by 100% and everyone else's income go up in single digits for the majority of the population, right? It's because of these low interest rates, and these low interest rates are starting to go away. And during this entire period, we're looking at this. 20 million households are behind on utility bills due to the pandemic, and 30% of Americans are in credit card debt between $1,000 and $5,000. 15% have $5,000 or more, and 6% have over $10,000 in credit card debt. Student loans, the average student loan debt is about $28,000. And now we're starting to see the auto loan bubble really start to pop. Late car payments are up, but repossessions are down. History indicates that trend will change soon. More Americans are relying on credit cards, and home foreclosures are up a whopping 187% from a year ago, right? So we're starting to see all these trends change. Stock market's starting to kind of pull back a little bit. But one of the very unique situations that America is in is that over the last 20, 25 years, we've had a very stable job market. A lot of careers have been there and been kind of not like really bedrocks to this country. And those careers are now getting challenged. We're starting to see more layoffs, and we're starting to see prices that many Americans thought were fixed starting to adjust. So, examples: utility bills, property insurance, property taxes, home ownership costs, really maintenance costs, servicing the property. Everything is just getting much more expensive. And as this is all happening, the costs are only going to continue to rise as they increase interest rates and we start to see energy prices continue to rise as well. So what is this going to look like? Here's what's going to happen. We are going to see more defaults all across the auto industry. We're going to see more defaults across mortgages. We're going to see a lot more people underwater on their properties, and we're going to see a lot more people that are going to be pushed into the brink of collapse as interest rates continue to rise and they fight inflation. As they fight inflation, I promise you that the cost of everyday debt is going to be much more expensive across student loans, car loans, auto loans, credit cards. Everything is going to get much more expensive to service. And at that same time, we're starting to see massive job layoffs, and we're starting to see America really, really change as a whole. We're witnessing something far bigger than a tech bubble in the early 2000s, something far bigger than a real estate mortgage crisis in 2008. We're witnessing the transformation of jobs. We're witnessing the transformation of energy. We're witnessing everything change. It is changing before our eyes. What's going to happen is very, very soon, we are going to see this energy solution become available, and this energy solution is going to be much more expensive than I think a lot of people are anticipating, because people aren't going to be able to afford these current parabolic jumps for utility bills. And so what are they going to do, right? People are going to need to shift, and as they're shifting to this new solution, it's going to be likely an expensive jump. As they're shifting, what's ultimately going to happen, private equity firms are going to run out there and pounce on all the debt that Americans took on that they can no longer afford, and buying up distressed assets, buying up everything they possibly can buy, right? That's what's going to happen. We are witnessing a period in which private equity is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger than many people can comprehend. Look at what's happening right now. Ken Griffin just bought another behemoth of a property. CEO of Citadel paid $107 million for this Miami deal. We're witnessing even people in America, making $250,000 a year. A third of them cannot afford their basic expenses, right? They're paycheck to paycheck. We're looking at Kim Kardashian. We're looking at all these celebrities getting into private equity, using their personal brands and using, online and technology and their connections to start to raise money from the masses. Even Blackstone is jumping in on this, right? 30% or more earning $250,000 or more are paycheck to paycheck. 58% of Americans are paycheck to paycheck. So this is the big question. You have roughly 60% of Americans are paycheck to paycheck, a lot of which are leveraged in debt across, everything, whether it be credit cards, auto loans, student loans, personal loans, mortgages. They're leveraged across the gills, right? And at the same exact time, food prices are only going to continue to rise. Insurance is only going to continue to rise. Property taxes are only going to continue to rise. And the cost to service all of that debt is only going to continue to rise, while we're seeing layoffs starting to happen across nearly all segments of the market. What I believe is going to happen is going to be huge. It's going to be really big. And this is what I think we're going to see more of. Blackstone plans fund for people with millions, not billions. We're going to start to see a lot more celebrities, a lot more influencers, a lot more private equity firms raising money from the general public to buy all the assets of the general public, right? This is the time where people really need to, look at their spending, look at their debts, come up with a great plan of paying off that debt, coming up with new plans to make money, being strategic, because we are at the crossroads right now. This country is not going to recover the same in this recession or depression as we have in past ones. The main difference is going to be that we're going to start to see this work from home trend continue. We're going to start to see a lot of companies start to outsource more and more and more talent from overseas, drawing cheap labor, which is going to bring down incomes here as we start to roll into a period of AI and automation and robotics. Costs are going to be coming down And as costs are coming down and people are heavily reliant on their high incomes to pay off all their debts, we're just going to see more and more and more defaults as time goes, coupled with these interest rates rising at the same exact time. What do you think about this entire situation? What do you think are the best careers to be in over the next 1 to 3 years? I'm really curious as to what your thoughts are. If you can prove me wrong in any of this, I would love to have a conversation with you down below in the comment section. And of course, if you can prove me wrong with facts, I will love to pin your comment at the top below this video. Subscribe. You're also subscribed to my second channel. It's an interactive call-in show. I have these shows every single Friday being released, so be sure to subscribe over there. Also, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok up in the banner. Catch you guys in the next video.